Peace and blessings, everyone. This is The Lonely Satellite with your host, Beat After Beat. Good to see everyone on a Sunday cold night here, 47 degrees and rain here in the Motor City. Thank y'all for showing up. When you're feeling love's unfair, when you're lost in deep despair, when you're down in deep despair, you just ask the lonely here at the Lonely Satellite. Hello, hello, welcome, 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 welcome. Let's get everybody comfortable, get ready for the show. Going to be quite another interesting show. Topic of this evening is solitude. That's right, another lesson to be learned when you're alone out here in the world. Leona, much love to you. Adrian, much love to you. Tails, much love to you. Good to see everyone. Thank you so much. This is a group effort show, and by all means, please come on up to the panel. Invites are in the chat. They were in the chat. Pretty good, pretty good. Took my blood sugar this afternoon. I'm at 129, which is pretty good, pretty normal. And so the chat is up and running, and the StreamYard invites are in the chat, looking good. And we got Tails up here. Another exciting evening. There you go.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
And how are you this fine day of night? This chilly, as you call it. It's not cold yet. It's going to be freezing this winter. I love it.
Yeah, right on. I don't. It gets dark here in Michigan at like 7:30 now.
Oh, really? You're
I mean,
lucky. It starts getting dark around 5 here.
I mean, it's pitch black out here. So yeah, it's cold and rainy and it's going to be an interesting Halloween with this weather. Good to see you. I'm glad you made it. Yeah, the infamous Tails. Ain't that right? Well, thank you for
Yeah, I'm just babysitting a friend's dog.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's awfully nice. Yeah, I'm wearing my Made in Michigan sticker right here today. Made in Michigan sticker. Today.
Oh,
Hey, at least I'm not eating Friskies right now.
no, that's what next month.
Yeah, turkey coming up. Yeah, I stole these. Well, I didn't steal them. I got them from the supermarket yesterday or the other day, and it's like, well, I was born and raised here in Michigan, so I might as well get this.
Oh.
Just having a little fun. Tales. That's all. Just trying to liven up the show.
Hey, that's a good thing, buddy.
Just trying. We got solitude on the table this evening. Solitude, another interesting topic surrounding loneliness. Another way of dealing with loneliness is solitude, and I'm beginning to strongly believe that that is the answer for a lot of people. Um,
Me is
um,
my bong.
well, I mean, you're having solitude with your bond.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a private session, right?
yeah. No one smokes out of it but me,
All
because I'm
right.
the only one here.
Yes. Aren't we all the only ones here? So good to see everyone. Yeah, the temperatures are really coming down here in Michigan. 47 and rain right now. And see what the weather is for tomorrow. 40, 45 degrees and 27 degrees at nighttime tomorrow. So, so 45 tomorrow, rain, and 27 tomorrow night. Yeah,
Huh.
it's all that Canadian cold air coming down here, man. What are you, what are you doing to me,
Well,
man?
I don't have the heat on in my house. I have a window open, and it's 68 inside my house.
Oh, 68 in your house, yeah, yeah.
I don't know what it's like outside. I haven't been out there today.
Oh, the Arctic blast is coming up from the Great White North.
That's
Yep.
good day, eh? And welcome to the Great White North, eh?
Okay. Wow. I'm just letting everything fall into place here with the show, and I had to use the heating pad today for my upper shoulders and my neck, and laid in bed for a couple hours with the heating pad on. And I decided, well, I better get my ass ready and do a show. So here we are. Anything new and exciting this past week
Not for me. I'll try to make it as
besides
boring
watching
as
your dog?
possible. I don't need
No, nothing
the
really.
excitement. God knows if I get excited, what will happen.
Right on. I know. All right. So, thought for sure you'd be in the basement hiding on me, but so what kind of dog are you babysitting?
Um, I'm not sure. It's a mousy piece. It's like a Waller. It's a mutt. I can tell you that much.
Okay.
I know as I'm talking about it right now, it came up to me and starts nibbling on my thumb.
Ah, how old?
Um, I think it's about 4 or 5 months old.
Hmm. Wow, just a puppy.
Oh yeah, it's a puppy, or else I'd be kicking its ass. Yeah.
Well, good to have you on the show again. Just cleaning the house. What did Carpenter say? Chichua? I don't know, can't even pronounce it. Chihuahua. Chihuahua? I don't
Yeah, what wallet chihuahua?
know. All the above. All right.
Well, it's not a bad looking dog. It's a good looking dog. It's got nice blue rings around its eyes. Bluish, yeah, bluish white type things.
All right. And that's just for one night or the weekend or
Oh, I wish, buddy. I wish. Here, I'll tell you the story about it. Oh, you don't want me to tell you the story? Ah, shut up.
it would be interesting to know what people that come to Lonely Satellite are looking for in a companion, what qualities they like in a person, and what they like to do for fun. That's why I have a panel for you guys to come on up here and express how you feel. What's your reaction or opinion about loneliness? How are you dealing with it? Come on up on the panel.
I just feel gay. Gay, gay, gay. I want our old words back, so I'm happy.
Leona, why don't you try to come on up here again? You've done it before. The invite's in the chat. Leona's been up here once before.
Yeah.
Not in this show. I don't know if it was this show. I don't know. We got so many shows. I don't know what to do. So the background track is at 20, and I guess that sounds pretty good. When we said, I thank you, but I'm staying with Adrian. All right. We're 13 minutes into the show. We just started getting warmed up here. Rowan, my friend.
How are you, Rowan?
Well, yeah, here we go, I guess. Don't want to keep everybody in suspense. Thanks for showing up, Rowan. Appreciate it. Rowan's down there in Alabama. Okay, if everybody is fine, then
I'm
I
perfectly fine.
I have my notes.
At least that's what my doctor tells me once in a while. You're fine.
I will be making an appointment to see my nutritionist tomorrow morning.
Oh, right on.
So I'm on the road to the nutritionist and see what she or he can help me with regarding eating properly.
Put your food bill up higher. Yeah.
So that's in the works. Tomorrow I go to the food pantry. I go to a church once a month and pick up food at the food pantry to help out. Oh, and I lost my notes. Uh-oh. I lost my notes.
Oh no.
Louisiana, lower Alabama beat. Oopsie. I was close enough, Rowan. Damn.
What did you say?
Oh, I was reading Rowan's comment in the chat. He's from Louisiana, lower Alabama beat. Maria stole the notes. No, she's smart. She's under the blanket. So we'll see what the night brings. 4 people in the house. Thank you for showing up. This is the Lonely Satellite. What is solitude? Oh, let me put on my reading glasses, right? Gotta put on the specs. Class is in session. What is solitude? Loneliness is marked by a sense of isolation. Solitude, on the other hand, is a state of being alone without being lonely and can lead to self awareness. As the world spins faster and faster, or maybe it just seems that way when an email can travel around the world in fractions of a second, we mortals need a variety of ways to cope with the resulting pressures. We need to maintain some semblance, semblance of balance and some sense that we are steering the ship of our life. Otherwise, we feel overloaded, overreact to minor um, annoyances, and feel like we can never catch up. As far as I'm concerned, one of the best ways is by seeking and enjoying solitude. That said, there is an important distinction to be established right off the bat. There is a world of difference between solitude and loneliness, though the two terms are often used interchangeably. From the outside, solitude and loneliness look a lot alike. Both are characterized by solitariness, but all resembles ends at the surface. Loneliness is a negative state marked by a sense of isolation. One feels that something is missing. It is possible to be with people and still feel lonely, perhaps the most bitter form of loneliness. Solitude is a state of being alone without being lonely. It is a positive and constructive state of engagement with oneself. Solitude is desirable, a state of being alone where you provide yourself wonderful and significant company or sufficient company. Solitude is a time that can be used for reflection, inner searching, or growth or enjoyment of some kind. Deep reading requires solitude, so does experiencing the beauty of nature. Thinking and creativity usually do too. Solitude suggests peaceful steam stemming from a state of inner richness. It is a means of enjoying the quiet and whatever it brings that is satisfying, and from what we draw sus- sustenance. Sustenance. It is something we cultivate. Solitude is refreshing, an opportunity to renew ourselves. In other words, it replenishes us. Loneliness is harsh, punishment, a defined de- deficiency state, a state of disconnect marked by a sense of estrangement, and awareness of excess aloneness. Solitude is something you choose. Loneliness is imposed by you by others. We all need periods of solitude, although temperamentally we, we probably differ in the amount of solitude we need. Some solitude is essential. It gives us time to explore and know ourselves. It is the necessary counterpoint to intimacy, what allows us to have self-worthy of sharing. Solitude gives us a chance to regain perspective. It renews us for the challenge of life. It allows us to get back into the position of driving our own lives rather than having them run by schedules and demands from without. Solitude restores body and mind. Loneliness depletes them. What is solitude? Going to chat briefly. Thank you so much. Old G's in the house. Thank you for showing up. It's been a minute. Oh, she's fine. Thank you for showing up. Invites in the chat. Moving right along with tonight's topic, solitude. The call of solitude. How spending time alone can enhance intimacy. Being alone can fuel life. What's really blocking our joy in relationships, our creativity, and our peace of mind? One surprising answer is this age of alienation is a lack of solitude. Meaningful alone time, it turns out, is a powerful need and a necessary tonic in today's rapid fire world. Indeed, solitude actually allows us to connect to others in a far richer way. We have we live in a society that worships independence, yet deeply fears alienation. Our era is sped up and overconnected. The Earth's population has doubled since the 1950s, and in cities across the world, urban crowding and the new global economy have revolutionized social relationships. Cellular phones now extend the domain of the workplace into every part of our lives. Religion no longer provides a place for quiet retreat, but instead offers megachurches of social and secular amusement, and climbers on the top of Mount McKinley whip out handheld radios to call home. We are heading toward a time when, according to the New York Times, portable phones, pagers, and data transmission devices of every sort will keep us terminally in touch. Yet, in another, more profound way, we are terminally out of touch. The need for genuine and constructive aloneness has gotten utterly lost, and in the process, so have we. Now more than ever, we need our solitude. Being alone gives us the power to regulate and adjust our lives. It can teach us fortified and fortitude and the ability to satisfy our own needs. A restorative energy, the stillness of alone experiences provides us with much needed rest. It brings forth our longing to explore, our curiosity about the unknown, our will to be an individual, our hopes for freedom. Alone time is fuel for life. I've witnessed the enormous benefits of time alone and seen how it actually strengthens our attachments. A young woman confided to me that her husband was a wonderful lover and the intimacy between them remarkable, yet they did not go to bed or wake up at the same time. And in the morning she sipped coffee and read the paper by herself. The streets were quiet, and she was truly alone. She would never give up the alone time in exchange for more sex. Those solitary mornings and her husband's solitary nights were the bedrock of their unusual intimacy. Both the need to be alone and to engage others are essential to human happiness and survival, with equally provocative claims. Mother Nature gives aloneness a high priority. Sleep is nature's way of ensuring solitude, but given the rise in the number of sleep disorder clinics and the sale of sol- sulfur soporific drugs, even this one fundamental outlet for aloneness is in trouble. Our error is the presuming that aloneness and attachment are either or conditions. They are at odds only when they are pitted against each other. The healing aspects of solitude have not gone wholly unnoticed. In the current psychology, time out has been heralded as a coping strategy, as an emotional breather. However, the phrase "time out" suggests that in the theater of life, relating and simulation are the important dramas, and alone time merely intermission. In truth, each profoundly enriches the other. So let's discover the joys of solitude. In the past century, the way we have handled aloneness has changed dramatically. Alone did not always mean an absence of others. The word was coined in medieval times and originally signified a completeness in one's singular being. In religious terminology, solitude typically meant the experience of oneness with God. Yet all current meanings of alone implied a lack of something. Solitude meets with social questioning, if not censure. Even worse, people associate going it alone with antisocial pursuits and unnecessary risk taking. Perhaps most striking, solitude conjures up pangs of loneliness. Loneliness is indeed the most obvious risk of aloneness. The very idea of solitude may evoke deep childhood fears of abandonment and neglect and cause some people to rush toward connect, connectedness. But I do not believe that loneliness can be totally banished from life, nor that it should be. Like anxiety or guilt, it's part of the human condition. It tells us that we are not being understood and are perhaps too isolated from community and connection. Surprisingly, it can also tell us that we are not taking time to be in contact with our inner selves, to be alone. Six people in the house. Psychology is only just beginning to distinguish aloneness from loneliness. Longing for a lover, relative, or friend is not the cause of loneliness, nor is finding someone necessarily the cure. People inside a tight-knit nuclear family can be just as unknown and lonely as those living on their own. Attachments are not automatically fulfilling relationships in some cases. Attachments are maintained only in the cost of extreme personal compromise. People speak of being shackled and held hostage in a relationship. Certainly, there are well made marriages, but we are primarily social animals. We would bonding proof. So most people seek balance through finding someone or something that will keep them in the world with peers and alone in contentment. Alone time and together time requires smooth sieges SGUES in order to avoid conflict. Many societies that emphasize close-knit family patterns also provide built-in loopholes that offer individual escape. Acceptable ways to dissociate from society, whether in trance dancing, vision quest, or hunting. Western travelers to Japan, in particular, are impressed by the niches set NICHES aside in public spaces for individuals to sit alone. Where is alone time? When listening to patients talk about their lovers, family, or friends, I'm struck by their expressions of gratitude if they receive time off to engage in their own pursuits, like prisoners who are granted parole before they deserve it. They feel that their freedom is a gracious gift. Therefore, they have a hard time ever suggesting the possibility of spending a relaxing day alone. Perhaps our biggest mistake is the way we view solitude. Just as the need and love for food is satisfied in many ways, a gourmet meal, snack, cooking lessons, grazing, or a barbecue, alone time can be found while with another, in crowds, in sleep, or in alert and chosen isolation. It does not even require quiet and stillness. Alone time can be found in a room full of people dancing, in prayer, in nature, in the creative act, at the computer, or with your mate, in a country retreat. I listen to the rain and I watched it pour down on a skylight as I reflect on wilderness and its connection of being alone. Nearby, my husband, not my husband, was reading Moby Dick, yet, of course, we were both experiencing a form of alone time. You can be alone with people, as my husband, not my husband, provided by showing me a passage from Melville, was a man some 200 was a man some 20,000 miles from home, thrown among people as strange to him as though he were in the planet Jupiter, and yet he seemed entirely at ease, preserving the utmost serenity, content, content with his own companions, always equal to himself. Chad, thank you for showing up. KK Bootsy, much love. Alone in nature. One way alone time is fueled is by experiences that put us in contact with nature. The tonic of wilderness, as called it, as a theme that still resounds today. In 1993, a Norwegian explorer made one of the most difficult treks in polar history. Pulling a 300-pound sled, he skied alone to the North Pole over more than 600 miles of drifting ice. Once or twice a week, he communicated with his base camp by radio. After his extraordinary solo trek of 52 days, he said, I had feared I would be lonely. I had never spent so much as a single night alone in a tent before, but being alone proved to be one of the greatest experiences of the entire trek. Throughout history, we see individuals who have tired of confines of civilization and voiced a longing for space. Tidal pools, empty fields, mountains, trees, and oceans evoke peace and contentment. Something sacred fills these open spaces. I believe we long for places with no roads, but plenty of space. From the time we were children, when he was less than 2 years old, um, we'll just call him Benjamin, riding on the metro in Washington, D.C., opened his hands as if reading a book. I'm in the ocean, he said, describing the imaginary book. I'm swimming with the dolphins. Unfortunately, for the sake of necessity and convenience, most of us must learn to locate the solidarity and contentment of being alone in nature in our everyday lives. The other day, I walked alone in a historical nature preserve in Massachusetts, several miles from my house. Small caves in the cobble may have been used from time to time as temporary shelters by nomadic Indians. I found a rock in one of the caves to sit on, from which I watched a stream, and later lay down on a flat land that was equally quiet, enjoying the empty moments and feelings of awe. Take a little break here. Hope this is making sense to everybody. Certain people in the house. Bouncer, thank you for showing up. Pretty sure. Okay. We go in the chat, take a little break. We're going over the topic solitude. Take a little break here and go catch up in the chat if you don't mind. Tails.
No, I don't mind at all, buddy. Read away.
Oh, you have it so easy over there.
Yes, I just being quiet and answering your questions once in a blue moon.
I hope you're kind of getting uh, an idea of what solitude is in examples. Let me catch up here. Where'd I leave off? Rowan. Catch up with the chat. That's funny. Good to see OG. It's been a minute. If you'd like to come up, the invites in the chat. Catching up with the chat. Tails feeds the dog peanut butter.
Yeah, that's what he wishes. But peanut butter's too expensive, so I don't share my peanut butter with a dog.
That's funny. Catching up with the chat. 40 minutes into the show, 9 people in the house. Thank y'all for coming by. Tonight's topic is solitude. Going over my notes, giving you any examples, and I truly believe in my heart that solitude will save or is saving vibes out there for people who are dying of loneliness. Again, loneliness and solitude are two different things. Almost cheaper to get a hooker.
I get pretty homely hookers, I guess. I don't know. Poor bastard.
Wait until she sees the Italian sausage, she will change her mind. No one has asked me what that sticker is on my shirt this evening. My God.
Oh, I figured it was a price tag of some sort.
Yeah, I'm on sale this week. Only $20. 20 only this weekend. Week only.
See, you're the one that's making prostitution so cheap.
That's because I get my EBT card now. I can afford to go a little cheaper. I got extra income. King got jealous because it's no longer the schoolhouse parties yardstick. Thanks for showing up, bouncer. Thank you so much for showing up. Poor Skin put a butterfly tattoo on his backside because I like looking at butterflies. Just trying to catch up with everything here. KK Bootsy, it's been a minute. Chad, much love. Been watching your live. Been watching your videos every day, my friend. Been giving you a thumbs up on those videos. Chad is from Hawaii, in case anybody is wondering who Chad is. He lives in Hawaii, and go check him out. He goes live, or he doesn't go live. He does videos and posts them walking the streets of Hawaii. Family in general. Got to catch up to the chat. Creating a new nuclear family. Doing great, KK. How are you? We destroyed black families first. Ten people in the house. Thank you for showing up. One Week Satellite, 8 p.m. Eastern. Sunday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern. Going over the topic of loneliness and the issues that involve loneliness and how to deal with it and get through your day with solitude. Solitude, I believe, is the answer to all this loneliness mess. You gotta set your mind every day. You gotta put yourself in a mindset. You gotta put yourself in the mindset, focus. What am I gonna do today? I'm on a mission. I'm going on the mission. What am I gonna do? Do whatever it takes. Walk over people, step over them, keep moving, go on your mission, focus, keeping that state of mind is what I believe. That'll get you far right there. Ignore everyone around you and focus. Move forward. You'll go far. I do it every day. Like the band Crocus. The live album Stayed Awake All Night. Oh, that was a good song. Headhunter is an all-time yes. Hope you're enjoying my community page, everyone, and Chad. Um, just catching up with everyone. Got a full house once again. Thank you so much. Full house. People lining up at the door to get in here tonight. I'm rage quitting. I'm pretty sure parts are supposed to have chunks. Lord help us. Lots of spaces like that in Massachusetts. Great place for exploring. I'm a cookie, much love. Thank you for showing up, my dear. We'll get through this. You need solitude sometimes. Quiet reflection is how you learn. Invite.
You wondering what he's saying there?
Everything is too expensive now. I'm sorry, Tails?
Were you wondering what he was saying there?
About
The Cosbys? Dropping the Cosby kids off at the pool?
no, I don't understand. I didn't understand.
He's taking a shit.
Oh, okay. Oh my. Oh man, there's my career in the toilet for sure now. Wow. I really got a bunch of brilliant minds here in the chat.
Yeah, whenever you see him dropping the kids off at the Cosby kids off at the pool, you know, oh, fucker. He's in the bathroom.
That's not the same loneliness, solitude. Superman doesn't have the fortress of loneliness. Just catching up to the chat. Only hookers sound like a reality show. It would be funny though. That period price. Moving right down the line here in the chat. Do we have to pay state taxes for you? Lots of labs on sale. Yeah, 6% sales tax up here. I believe it's still 6% sales tax up here in Michigan. Fawn, it's been a minute. How are you? Hope you feel much better now. Fawn's been sick all week, last week. Catching up to the chat. Pretty good, hanging in there, Fawn. From another place and another time. It's unfortunate that I know how it all ends, but there is still a chance. Tails laughing. Holy moly. People are talking. No worries. Take your time.
It's getting near that time, Halloween. Ugh. Then is my daughter's birthday right after.
Right after the day after Halloween,
Yeah,
November 1st.
yeah.
Well, happy birthday to your daughter coming up. Wow, you guys had a lot to talk about. It's great, you know. Wow, you guys too funny. Oh, that's good to hear, Fawn. Happy Halloween, everyone. Same to you, Fawn. Saints Day, and we are caught up. Well, only satellite 52 minutes into the show, going over the topic solitude this evening. We're getting some snow on Tuesday in Indiana, guys. If Halloween, everyone, don't forget to clean it afterwards. We are caught up once again. Across some heavy notes here. Where do we leave off?
You asking me where we left off?
Uh, okay, we're going to start with solitude and God. Solitude and God.
Just a minute before you start that. See if we can get anybody else up here. There's the link there.
Exactly, Adrian. Bundle up.
You fine? Is there anybody in the basement?
Oh, now there
Not
is.
yet.
Good evening, OG.
Hey, what's going on? After he said that, fucking guy, after he said that about the car, my ass. I was like, this guy's gonna explain it.
I'll explain it. Sure, I'll tell everybody.
I'm disappointed though. We need to see the Maria.
Yeah, make
There's a
sure that it's big.
there's a welfare check going on Maria right now.
Did you say Maria?
Yeah. Welfare check.
Who's Maria?
Isn't that your cat?
Oh, she's under the blankets right now, man. She's in a coma.
She's in a coma from lack of food.
All right. No, she's fine. Believe me, she's fine. She's well stocked. She's well stocked. So good to see you, OG.
I was. So what does it say on there? Move the hair a little bit and let's see what it says. What's your price?
It says I got these from the supermarket. It says this
Made?
made,
No,
made in Michigan.
you don't see that too often.
No, I'm so I decided to put a sticker made in Michigan because I was born and raised here. So yeah, that's what you see on my shirt. You see a made in Michigan sticker.
I heard there's a lot of defects from stuff that comes from Michigan.
The whole world is a defect.
Okay, well, I just wanted to say hi.
Enough said. Well, I'm glad you came up.
I'll leave you to your show.
No, all right,
Charles.
you're more than welcome to stay up here and listen.
I'm gonna be be lying down soon. I'll still be watching though.
Okay, thank you.
Ciao for now.
All
Have a
right.
good night, buddy.
All right. Good to see him. It's like when you haven't seen somebody in a long time, and all of a sudden they show up. You just don't know how to react or what
Yeah,
to say to
he's so shy tonight. I can't believe it.
them.
Is that even a true OG?
So yeah, I'm wearing my Made in Michigan sticker this evening.
Since you were born and raised there?
Might as well Made in Michigan. So here we go. Going over Solitude this evening. Lonely Satellite. Gonna do some more reading. Thank y'all for showing up. We're gonna do something else here. Is your solitude authentic? Is your solitude authentic? Pseudo solitude versus the real thing. Key points. Authentic solitude is deeply relational as you connect with yourself, the natural world, or your spirituality. Pseudo solitude is a state of being alone in which you feel alienated from yourself and others. Authentic solitude fosters well being and personal growth, while pseudo solitude breeds loneliness and rumination. Most of us would agree that loneliness is largely a negative experience, but what about solitude? Sometimes we relish our time alone, feeling satisfied and restored by it, while other times solitude turns lonely or feels empty and unfulfilling. What's more, these negative states can occur even when we desire time alone and intentionally seek it out. What gives? The answer may be found by answering this question: is your solitude authentic? After combining the literature and on the various ways of solitude can be experienced, researchers James and Louise Averill concluded that authentic solitude is radically different from what they call pseudo solitude. What is authentic solitude? Authentic solitude is relational. At first, this seems contrary to how we envision time alone. After all, solitude is solitary. We separate from other people. We withdraw from social interaction. We are hopefully disconnected from even social media. But it turns out solitude is deeply relational at its core. When we're alone, we connect with ourselves. My research, along with others, has also shown that solitude encourages self reflection and personal growth. Being alone provides the privacy needed to explore our emotions freely and the opportunity to engage in personal projects that are satisfying or creative. This type of solitude is inner directed, focused on self care and self discovery, and it's made possible by the freedom that comes from releasing ourselves from social and familial obligations. The researchers noted that solitude can also be relational in an outer directed way when we spend time alone reflecting on our relationships, feelings connected to the natural world, or engaging in a spiritual practice. In short, we feel authentically connected to something beyond ourselves. These descriptions map onto what other researchers have termed positive solitude, time alone filled with meaning and purpose, and self-determined solitude, or time alone that is motivated. Perhaps not surprisingly, both of these types of solitude are linked with high levels of well-being. What is pseudo solitude? In contrast, pseudo solitude is non relational. You're not connected to others and you're not connected to yourself. Instead, the dominant feeling is loneliness, and the primary activity is diversion, where you seek to escape from yourself and your solitude. This may manifest as feelings bored and restlessness, wasting time on activities that are ultimately unsatisfying. A common one is aimless scrolling on social media or over feeling left out. Rather than feeling connected, authentic solitude, you feel alienated from yourself and others. Such solitude is not constructive, and those feelings may signal that we need at that moment is not time alone, but rather the company of others. But this distinction between authentic solitude and pseudo solitude encourages us to pay attention to the subjective quality of our alone time. When we don't feel connected to ourselves, we may need to exit solitude and reconnect with others, or gather our courage and learn how to embrace being alone. In the words, we are never completely alone, at least not when solitude is authentic. Is your solitude authentic? Solitude as medicine. If solitude is so good for you, why does it sometimes feel so bad? If you're a person who genuinely enjoys spending time alone, you'll recognize this scenario. You finally carved out some time for yourself and you've been anticipating it for days. Finally, some me time, no work, family, or social obligations. and the luxury to spend your time however you please. Then you arrive at the appointed hour and settle into the quiet only. It's too quiet. The bright mood you had evaporates, and you suddenly feel unsettled. You start to get restless. Random thoughts and memories flash through your mind. Anxiety might arise, only to be replaced with sadness or boredom or loneliness. At this point, you're tempted to abandon the whole enterprise and head back out into society, or at least grab your phone and distract yourself with social media. What is going on? If solitude is supposed to be so good for you, why does it often feel so bad? If you've ever gone through the sequence of events, you're not alone. Psychological research has documented the multiple benefits we get from freely chosen solitude, ranging from opportunities for contemplation and creativity to increase in well being. However, these same researchers have also been candid about how difficult solitude can be, comparing it, for example, to a medicine which tastes bad but leaves one more healthy in the long run. The reasons for this may be due precisely to one of the major functions of solitude: emotional regulation. Two sets of studies have shown that it is predictable for our moods to lower when we enter solitude, even freely chosen solitude that we have looked forward to. Solitude as a medicine. The pain of loneliness and the pleasure of solitude. Examining the crucial differences between loneliness and solitude. Since the start of the COVID-19 crisis, I have received dozens of calls from journalists seeking my opinion on the mental health impact of the pandemic. These calls typically cover various topics, but frequently focus on the crisis impact on loneliness. This is an important topic to consider, given the research literature indicates that loneliness can be a risk factor for adverse mental health outcomes, including depression, substance misuse, and suicide. Indeed, there are serious concerns that the pandemic may be causing an epidemic of loneliness. Lockdowns and other restrictions have sometimes caused separation from the people, places, and social activities that give our lives purpose and meaning. This may be particularly painful for those accustomed to a rich and varied social life, such as extroverts and social singletons. That said, it is important to note that is a crucial difference between being alone and being lonely. For some, being alone entails alienation and suffering, especially when such aloneness is unwanted. The, ex, ex, existential pain, this existential pain is compassed in the word loneliness. However, for others, being alone represents a desirable time of comfort and solace. Solace. This exist, my God, this extensional pleasure is compassed in the word solitude. This is particularly appreciated by those who are shy, introverted, and socially anxious. The important difference between loneliness and solitude is being overlooked in current debates about mental health, with much talk of the pain of loneliness, but little of the pleasure of solitude. This is a missed opportunity indeed of loneliness as beneficial gift rather than a heavy burden may be helpful for individuals and society as a whole during the COVID crisis. I am just going over notes. The pain of loneliness and the pleasure of solitude.
Hmm.
The end of solitude and the eternity of aloneness. The quest to conquer solitude has made us more alone than ever. Human beings are social animals. They are also solitary ones. Many things in modern life are done alone, even within well integrated families and social groups. Humans also shut off consequences in the aloneness of sleep, and they die and descend into eternity. Of course, all living things die, but only humans are capable of developing elaborate fantasies to counteract death. They are also capable of developing tools to avoid being alone in a campaign against the eternal aloneness at the end of life. To put it simply, texting and emails are staying act- actions against the cessations of consequences. If we are always in touch or potentially in touch with others, then we can believe for a time that we will never be separated from human contact. This remedy for death and aloneness comes at the cost of people never experiencing solitude. New York Times columnist Roger Cohen wrote about visiting Cuba, a country whose leadership has intentionally kept it out of the modern electronic cable news biospheric internet either. Ether. Since visiting Cuba a few weeks ago, I've been thinking about the visual assault on our lives. Climb into in a New York taxi these days, and TV comes on with a bombardment of news and ads. It becomes passe to gaze out the window, watch the sunlight on a wall, a child smile, the city breathing. In Havana, I spent long hours contemplating a single street. Nothing, not a brand, an advertisement, or a neon sign distracted me from the city's sunlit surrender to time passing. A colossal price Fidel Castro's pursuit of socialism has forged a unique, freed from agitation, caught in a haunting equilibrium of stillness and decay. Such emptiness spaces away from the assault of marketing beyond every form of message, email, text, Twitter, in the modern world to the point that silence provokes a why am I not in demand anxiety. And any last remnants of quiet and peace are always under attack. Alec Baldwin was kicked off a plane for refusing to shut down his electronic gadgetry on takeoff. Many have questioned whether this is really necessary, but I am not one of those for continuous internet access on airplanes. I like getting on a plane, shutting off my connections, and reading whatever news I am to receive when I arrive at the hotel or the home at which I am staying. Likewise, I travel on subways and elevated trains. On the elevated transport, people can speak on their cell phones. Many people complain that New York subways don't provide connectivity, while those in other parts of the world do. Believe me when I say I gladly sacrifice my internet and cellular connections in exchange for not having to listen to someone nearby, or sometimes halfway across the train, carry on long, aimless one-sided cell phone conversations. People my age do not too much younger may remember times as a child, and even later when they started aimlessly at sunlight playing on trees or lay on their backs looking up clouds or otherwise engaged in that hopelessly activity wool gathering. Can you recall how delicious that experience was, or how you might wander into the woods or downtown for a few hours and no one, absolutely no one, knew where you were? To replicate that experience today, I take long cityscape bike rides. I know horrors that a child be left unprotected for that long. Shame on me for remembering those experiences fondly. Back to the present and on to the future, science fictionists have often imagined cyborgs, part electronic, part human being. We are that already and will become even more so. And the consequences of our consciousness and, yes, brain stimulation patterns or relationships, our contentment and our sense of ourselves and our children's of themselves cannot even begin to be imagined. We are evolving into a different species. This species is typically alone in the sense of not actually interacting with or looking at or being in the presence of others. How could we spend time together? We're too busy picking up messages from elsewhere. Paradoxically, our quest to evade the aloneness of death has made us more alone than ever. The end of solitude, the eternity of aloneness. Doing the best I can here reading. Let's take a little break here, go in the chat. An hour and 18 minutes. Stop and say hello to people in the chat. I have got a ton of notes on this solitude.
Yes, you do, buddy.
I hope I'm making sense to everybody. I hope you're getting something out of this. When I do my research on things, I really go deep into that subject and I focus on that subject. And to tell you the truth, I don't think I'm going to be able to handle all the notes that I've taken tonight. This is not a one show deal here when you're talking about loneliness and solitude, depression and anxiety. All these are all issues, but all these issues, all these topics, go right back to loneliness, anxiety, depression. Um, all these go right back to loneliness. So let me go back in the chat. Glad everyone's having a good time. Um, Tails, have you gotten anything out of what I've been reading so far?
Oh, yeah.
Is it kind of making sense?
Yeah, it makes lots of sense.
Because I don't know what you're hearing over there versus me reading it to you. I can't hear myself reading it to you. So if you understand what that means.
Yeah.
Just going over to chat. You know what's really throwing me off with this show is that it gets dark at 7 o'clock now, 7:30, and it's like I feel like it's time for me to go to bed.
And you're used to having the sun up still at 10?
Yes, so I'm kind of I feel like I'm a little off balance doing this show. I feel like it's like 11 o'clock at night already, but it's only nine, not even 9:30 yet here. So I feel the time change is kind of throwing me off. I'm not really with it. I don't really have any traction in what I'm doing here. It's, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take off soon too.
So a lot of deep notes. Tonight's focus was solitude and solitude versus loneliness. And I believe solitude is a much more healthier way to go. Take care, Fawn. Wolf and Hound, thank you for showing up. Just going over some notes on solitude, yeah, versus loneliness tonight. No need to feel out of place here, Fawn. We're all one big happy audience family here. I appreciate I appreciate everyone coming to listen to me read tonight. Wolf and Hound. Tails. What is happening? What is happening Halloween for you? Anything? You gonna
Um,
watch some spooky movies or something?
no, well, I all I have is my computer to watch whatever I want to watch on it. So I don't know. I can watch spooky movies and that whenever.
Yeah.
But I don't know what I'm gonna do this Halloween. Maybe go steal some candy. I don't know.
poor little poor little kids. There goes their pillowcases full of candy this year.
Yeah, where's your candy? The fat guy took them.
Yeah, I can see you hiding behind a bush, getting ready for the kill. Shit, you might be shoveling snow Tuesday.
They've been saying that it's supposed to have been snowing here for the last 2 weeks, and not once has it snowed yet. They don't know what the weather's going to be like tomorrow, for crying out loud, and they're going to tell us that it's global warming and look out for the next 50 years. Like, fuck off. Can't even get the weather right in a day, for crying out loud. Let me know if it snows down at your end. Did you say you're getting snow?
Um, Southeast Michigan. Right now it's 47. Right now it's 47 and cloudy here in Southeast Michigan, which is Detroit. Tomorrow rain, 45 degrees. Tomorrow's low, 27. Tuesday, 42 degrees. Tuesday's low 29. So tomorrow night's going to be 27 for the low here. Rain, cold rain, lots of cold rain. It's typical for Halloween up here, Tails. Um, it's always cold and rainy on Halloween up here.
Yeah, it gets that way here too, buddy.
So I guess it's,
If it's
you
not
know,
snowing, it's raining that day.
yeah, and the leaves are falling and everything, and so it's going to be your typical Halloween night with the rain and the leaves falling and the wind
Yeah, wear extra clothes
and
underneath your costume and go out and have fun.
and then yeah, you'll be in your raincoat and hiding behind a bush, getting ready to
Yep.
snatch those bags of candy.
I have my big cowboy boots on. Yeah. If the
Yeah,
kids got no arms, I know I'm good to go. It's if they got arms, I'm pretty scared about. Those little bastards can swing now.
wow, this is a lot. This is a lot of work, man. This is a lot of work. I'm psychology. Psychology is really deep, and I've taken on I think I've taken on a huge topic when it comes to loneliness. Um,
Yeah.
it's just never ending explanations of solitude and loneliness and examples and the do's and don'ts, what you can do about these issues, and the don'ts, what's good for you, what's bad for you, being alone. It gets really deep with psychology, and that's what I'm doing with this show. I'm using psychology methods to present this show here. I'm doing research on this loneliness issue. But all in all, I think solitude is truly the answer for many people out there. Um, and who'd want to be watching the news? All the chaos going on. Turn off your TV and just sit back and dim the lights and just enjoy the peace. There's too much conflict outside your door. You need to stop that. It's causing you anxiety. It's causing you restlessness. Um, we need peace. We need to rest our minds. We don't need to be watching CNN and all these news things going
Bullshit
on.
news.
Yes, we need to shut it down.
That's right. Look for it on the internet, people. Come and see what we do.
Bouncer. Complicated topic, yes. Complicated topic. Let me see if I can come up with a shorter note before you leave, Tails. It's I don't know if it's past your bedtime, 9:30.
Yeah, I got to talk to my daughter still, so I talk to her every night for a couple of hours.
That is nice. Seems like you guys get along very well.
It seems that way. I just hope it is.
Okay, so I'm gonna leave you with that. I know you got to go. I'm gonna leave you with three things, and they're short. So I'm gonna leave you with this, Tails. Man, I am lost today. All right, so here we go. What is the best way to find solitude? To really experience the meaning of solitude, it is important to set aside time as if you were going on a date. If you can stay at home and not be distracted, so much the better. However, at home, one often finds things to do when tasked with solitude. Whether you choose your quiet moments at home, outdoors, or in a uplifting environment, turn off all electronic devices, laptops, iPads, mobile phones. Find a corner that has no distractions and begin. How to find solitude at home? Read a few words of poetry if it helps you set the mood. Express gratitude for yourself, your home, the people in your life. Light a candle and watch the flame. Breathe and listen to rhythm within you. Sit with a journal or note cards to write out thoughts that come your way. Make a list of your positive qualities. Practice creative visualization, which is training your mind to create images, scenarios, or positive possibilities, which is, I say, is a mission, which I do every day. I put myself in a state of mind on a mission, and I ignore everything around me and I focus on what I'm doing. How to find solitude outdoors. One more for you, Tails. I know you got to go. Reconnect with nature by taking a meditative walk. Listen for the birds or even the sounds of the city. Or even the sounds of the city. I don't think you want to hear the sounds of downtown Detroit.
Yeah, or my town.
um, express gratitude for what you hear. Um, uh, Not downtown Detroit. No, no gunshots tonight. Find a quiet spot in a park, on a beach, along a hiking path, and just observe. Go
They're,
to a mu. I'm sorry.
these are must be very old um, things you found, because today they would tell you not to go near a beach or anything like that. It's too dangerous.
Well, let's pretend. Okay, work with me. Work with me, buddy. Come on. Uh, um, where was I? I'm sorry. Find a quiet spot in the park, on a beach, along a hiking path, and just observe. Go to a museum and marvel at the treasures that have been preserved. Find an interesting tree or piece of sculpture and talk to yourself about what it means to you to have this time to yourself. Walk into a flower shop or find a garden. Reflect on the beauty of the petals. Move your vision towards to observe the clouds in the sky. So there you go. I'm going to leave you with that, Tails.
Man, they're trying to get you locked up. You can't just walk into a flower shop and just start browsing around.
First of all, I guess I am a little outdated with this, but these are my notes. Yeah, and, now you need um, digital ID to get into a flower shop
Yeah.
nowadays. You need a digital identity to get in there. So um, you get the point of what I'm talking about with
Yeah.
these notes. I mean, maybe these notes are probably from when the world was in better shape.
1984.
Yeah, 84. But just this is all just to give you guys some ideas and on how to manage your daily lives a little bit better. I am not a professional at this stuff. I'm just doing my research like anybody else would do in psychology, and it gets deep, and It can hurt. It can remind people of what they are and who they are. It can hurt people. It can remind them of things that they thought that they hid in the closet for many years. Um, these kind of things about loneliness can bring up issues with oneself, um, and it can be painful at times. But you got to go through the pain to get to the other side. To You got to go through the fire in your life sometime to get to a better life. You know what I'm saying? You got to walk on coals sometime.
Yeah.
I mean, life is painful. Life is painful. But I will leave you with that, Tails.
Okay, buddy, I do gotta go. And it
Take
was
care.
nice.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah, thanks for having me up.
Take care, my friend.
You too, buddy. Have a good one.
See you Tuesday. New releases.
Yeah, I'll be here.
All right. Take care.
Take
Happy
care.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween to you too.
Have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much, Bouncer. An hour and 37 minutes into the show. Adrian, did you get anything out of this show tonight? Please say yes, if you could. Um, I overdid it with the notes again. An hour and 37 minutes into the show. 3 people in the house, lonely satellite, going over a mixture of stories and ways you can deal with loneliness and solitude. Um, I believe in my heart, solitude is is something that'll save you from loneliness. The further you get away from loneliness and go into solitude, the better chance you're going to survive um, what's happening in your daily life. It can bring back memories. Oh God, Carpenter, you know how hard this is. This is really hard stuff. This is deep impact psychology, and that's what the Lonely Satellite's about. I really would appreciate people to come up on the panel more. I mean, you guys are leaving Tails up here by himself with me, and you guys need to come up on the panel and keep him company and help support the channel, help support this show. Just please don't by himself like that on my show. Y'all need to come up here. Motivations for solitude. Explain why loners love being alone. Motivations for solitude. Explain why loners love being alone. A new 14-item questionnaire gauges various motivations for seeking solitude. Motivations for solitude. Explain why loners love being alone. The 14 item below shares the same prompt as the original full-length MSS. When I spend time alone, I do so because. So here are the 14 motivations for why loners love being alone. It sparks my creativity. I enjoy the quiet. Being alone helps me get in touch with my spirituality. It helps me stay in touch with my feelings. I value the privacy. I can engage in activities that really interest me. It helps me gain insight into why I do the things I do. I feel energized when I spend time by myself. I feel anxious when I'm with others. I don't feel liked when I'm with others. I can't be by myself around others. I regret things I say or do when I'm with others. I feel uncomfortable when I'm with others. I feel like I don't belong with when I'm with others. The 14 motivations for why loners love being alone. Ways to learn, and there are bad ways to learn, but either way, you are learning. I think I might be done reading my notes this evening. Now in 44 minutes. Four people in the house. Thank you for the love and support. Invites are in the chat. If you'd like to come on up briefly, the invites are in the chat. And yes, Beat After Beat is wearing his Made in Michigan sticker this evening. That's right, the Made in Michigan. Yes, born and raised here in Michigan, Made in Michigan. I hope everyone got something out of this show this evening. Um, Loneliness is a long process, solitude, a long process. But every day I wake up and I set my mind to what I'm doing throughout that day. I put myself on a mission, a positive mission. Um, the more you focus on yourself, ignore the things around you, and move forward, you're going to get things done that you need to get done, and you're not going to care who's around you, what's happening. You just need to go forward and be in touch with your inner self and your mind and carry on every day, because that's the only way you're going to get ahead. No one's going to get you ahead but yourself. You have to be your own motivation, your own engine, because nobody ain't coming to save you. So, yes, solitude helps you focus, yep, on yourself. Exactly. Hope everyone's enjoying my community page. Hope everyone is enjoying the channel. Seems like it's going pretty well. I appreciate the thumbs up and the likes and the subscribers. And it's really hard to climb that ladder, with the subscribers I have. I'm a very small channel, but for someone with a small channel like mine, it's pretty massive if you take time and check it out. Um, Solitude helps you love yourself. Yes. Reflecting. Yeah. Reflecting. Thinking about where you've been, where you've come from, how far you've come in your life on a journey, how you've become humble. You're older, you're humble. It really pays to be humble. You really don't get in trouble when you're humble. So in the future, upcoming shows, we'll continue talking about solitude, and maybe we'll go into a little bit of anxiety issues, um, a little bit of depression issues. Um, in future shows. Thanks for coming back, Fawn. Thank you so much. Not really going to be a big show tonight. Just kind of going over some deep notes about solitude this evening. Life does not really suck so much if you know how to have solitude in your life. Um, Loneliness can be forgotten. Oh, you're not out of place, Fawn. You're not out of place. Everything's fine. Never feel like you're out of place. that's really wonderful, and that's a gift to love yourself. It's a gift to love yourself because so many people hate themselves. They hate their lives. So many people are broken out there, Fawn. So I think I'm really done with my notes this evening. It's fine. Take your time. Just going over some more notes on solitude. All right, I got this one. We're going to go over what it's like to spend months in solitude. What it's like to spend months in solitude. And we'll end the show with that, I believe. What it's like to spend months in solitude. Every summer, here's the story. Every summer, I hike 2 hours to the one room mountaintop cabin where I live for 4 months. Once there, I don't have a laptop, a cell phone, or anyone to talk to. It's just me and my cow dog, Rye. I started working as a fire lookout in Montana 16 years ago. I was just out of college without a job for the summer. My older sister had spent 4 summers as a lookout, and she'd come back with thrilling stories. I wanted to give it a try. The first 2 weeks were the hardest that season. I was on an adrenaline high at first. I woke up to an amazing sunrise. The air was clear. I didn't hear traffic. But then I started to feel lonesome. I wanted to call someone, and when I realized I couldn't, I grew anxious. I couldn't leave my post either, so I began to write a lot. I wrote letters to friends, and I tracked my thoughts and experiences in a diary. Writing made me feel less stir crazy. Then something surprising happened. I woke up one morning in my third week and I felt a sense of peace. Nothing triggered it. I just remember thinking, I'm alone and I'm okay. I've since learned that all fire lookouts have to push through the additional initial week. You have to get used to living in your own head. You have to get used to living in your own head. I never get lonely in on the mountain anymore. Loneliness is an intense longing to be with someone else. I have people in my life whom I love deeply, but I don't feel the need to be with them constantly. While it's great that my mom hikes up to visit me once each season, I also happily wave goodbye to her when she leaves. My time is completely my own again. I don't go to the lookout to prove that I can survive on my own or that I'm a strong man. I'm there because I believe in the power of solitude. It has taught me so much. For one thing, there's no one to give opinions about who I am or what I'm doing. I don't have Facebook status updates or text messages muscling their way into my head. Also, when you're alone this much, you can't avoid problems you're having or an emotion you're struggling with. You can't distract yourself by shopping or seeing a movie. As a result, I'll often hear the opinion of my inner head and heart. Several years ago, I arrived at the lookout soon after a bad breakup. I found myself reflecting on what I could learn from it by the end of the summer. I could see more clearly what went wrong and why ending the relationship was the best thing. I stayed busy at the lookout. It's a job, after all, watching the forest carefully for any signs of fire. I returned radio calls from my supervisor or call in the rare medical evacuation or fire situation, depending on a lookout's tolerance for solitude. Some of us are on the radio more than others, but even with just my dog as a companion, I don't feel the need to fill up the air with idle chatter. Sometimes I get the feeling that the ravens want me to call out to them, but I prefer to acknowledge them with a smile. If I get really frustrated about something, I might yell at the radio rather than into it. Still, I don't speak out loud very often. Time passes differently at the lookout. I once watched a coyote dip below the ridge line, waiting in anticipation for him to reappear. An hour went by and I didn't even notice. I am more in touch with my rhythm. I wake when the sun comes up over the mountains and I sleep when the sun sets. I pass the time by knitting, but mostly I listen to the direction of the wind. I identify the flowers growing nearby. On my day off, I hike down a, to a swimming hole for a bath. It's always easier to arrive at the lookout than it is to leave. I rely on that time alone to recharge. I'm not sure I'd be able to keep up with my winter job in outdoor education. Last year I taught 3,000 people wilderness skills. If I didn't have that quiet, if I didn't have that quiet, I dread the end of the summer because it means I have to go back to the frantic pace of everyday life. When I first return, I try to spend a few days hiding out. I'll send an email out to my closest friends and family to tell them I'm okay. They know they shouldn't bother me. When I am ready to see everyone, we don't try to catch up about the entire summer in a few hours. We slowly ease back into our dynamic and the way we interact together. It's exhausting to come home. I'm not used to all the stimulation. Things I would typically notice, dogs barking, people talking, the colors, the smells, are starting and take time getting used to, but my first hot shower is divine. Hallmarks of solitude seekers. They tend to be introverted. People who pursue solo adventures sometimes use isolation as a defense mechanism. Still, they're often happy, secure introverts who know they need an extensive time and space to re energize, says Jonathan Cheek, a psychologist at Wesley College. They're free thinkers, true solo career choosers, explorers, some scientists lighthouse keepers, Peace Corps volunteers, and the like typically go after these jobs because they value creative problem solving, Cheek says. They're also more often to new experiences than most freethinkers. They can handle introspection. Not everyone values insight, but solitude seekers generally welcome the personal empathies, EPIPHANIES, both good and bad, that come with alone time, Cheek notes. What's it like to spend months in solitude? Let's go back in the chat. Yes, I'm reading you a bedtime story. It's called Solitude. I'm sure you'll have a wonderful sleep after that story about solitude. Um, yeah, let's see where I left off at. A little over 2 hours in the show. Great fun. Catch up with everyone here. Diet Coke. Story time before bed. Hope you enjoyed that story. Peter's reading us a story. Yes. Hopefully it has some value. Hopefully that story had some value. Hopefully you comprehended what I was reading. Still having issues reading some of the words in my notes, um, even with classes, but I think I've covered quite a bit again on the Lonely Satellite. I believe we've covered quite a bit of things this evening. We we talked about what is solitude, the call of solitude. Is your solitude authentic? Solitude as a medicine, the pain of loneliness and the pleasure of solitude, the end of solitude, the eternity of aloneness, what it's like to spend months in solitude, motivations for solitude, explain why loners love being alone, 14 ways to find solitude and its benefits. Briefly, we covered that. A date with self, 14 ways to find solitude with its benefits. We've covered just a very, very little bit of that part. These notes are really heavy. These are massive notes I have. I cannot go to this much anymore. I'm gonna have to stop where I'm at. Hope you guys got something out of this show. Yeah, cheers. Yeah, cheers, Carpenter. Diet joke. Three people in the house. 2 hours and 7 minutes into the show. And we are live here in the Motor City, 46 degrees and cloudy. Gonna take a break. I'll be right back. And we're back. All right, we are back. We are live. And yes, Beat After Beats, made in Michigan. That's right there. What I miss? What I miss? Anything? Yes, value. Lots to learn. Yes, a lifetime of learning when it comes to loneliness. Um, it can be a battle to be alone. It can be a battle. Um, the your inner demons seem to want to come out more when you're alone for some reason. Um, the little guy on your shoulder. You know, and my little Maria is up from her nap. Did you have a good nap, my little honey bun? Yeah, you stretching? A little over 2 hours tonight. Not bad, not bad. Again, the circle is loneliness, and what we want to do is we want to find the issues around the circle of loneliness, and we want to find out why it's all related, all these issues, anxiety, depression, and such. It all comes down to the circle of loneliness. I could draw you a I could draw you an example, a map, or not a map, a diagram of what I'm talking about. Um, yeah, Michigan, man, that's right. Always exciting being a Michigander. They call us Michiganders up here. Hey, poo poo. Alone time, you will learn to love yourself. So we're getting ready to shut down, I believe. Um, Hopefully this presentation was insightful and educational. As I always do, put um, these shows together, whatever show I put together, always educational for everyone in the music industry as well. Only Satellite is Beat After Beat's most epic show he has ever put together on YouTube. You're on the most epic show Beat After Beat's ever put on. In the almost 10 years that I've been doing this, live shows, I believe it's the most epic, but the most important show that I've ever done in my entire career on YouTube. And it might get hard for all of us, listening to me, whatever I got to say about loneliness and depression and anxiety. Painful things can come up in your life that you forgot about or that you put aside, and it can be painful to do this show. But the rewards are beautiful. The understanding of loneliness and what you can do to beat it. No pun intended. I don't think you ever can beat loneliness, but as I've been doing this show every week now, and hopefully everyone's beginning to understand more about loneliness and solitude and peace and quiet and all the benefits of that. Sam is going live now, guys. Oh, Sam's going live than I thought. If Sam's going live now, you're more than welcome to leave this channel and go say hi to Sam. Tell him I said hello. I gotta check my blood sugar once again, and I have to eat before I go to bed. Oh my, really, Tails? Willie Nelson died. You know, Tails, if you're still here, Matthew Perry died yesterday. Matthew Perry from that show Friends. Um, Matthew Perry, he died yesterday. So Willie Nelson died today. My God. So yeah, Matthew Perry, one of the Friends characters, died yesterday. If anybody heard, Matthew Perry. Reba McEntire died. Reba died too. Reba McEntire died. No way, no way, not Reba. Reba passed. Oh my. Well, rest in peace, Willie Nelson and Reba McEntire. Looks like the music industry has lost two gems. Many blessings to the family out of Willie Nelson and Reba McEntire. Many blessings to them, family. Wow, Reba McEntire, she was pretty young. Oh, Matthew Perry? I don't think Matthew Perry was 67. Was he? Or Reba? Matthew Perry died young. He died yesterday. Two hours, 17 minutes into the show. Reba was 67. Wow. My God. '54. We're going to go into a part two of this topic, solitude. Yeah, '54, Perry, yep. We're going to go into a part two of this solitude next Sunday. We're going to go over such things as overcoming the fear of solitude, 10 thoughts. Solitude Part 2, the benefits it brings and the special strengths of the people who enjoy it. The benefits of solitude. Sandcastle Solitude generates gratitude, inspires memoirs. The benefit of solitude. Is solitude something you enjoy or a way of avoiding others? The four solitudes of psychology. The most beautiful embrace of solitude in single life. Unfettered, the quest for solitude and wide open spaces. In praise of voluntary solitude, those are some of the subjects we'll be dealing with next week. A part two of solitude as a topic. So there's a part two. We'll be going over that. Doing another round of solitude and the benefits, the education. Yep. We can do that next week. $2, 20 minutes. So that sounds like a plan for next Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, here on the Lonely Satellite. Getting ready to shut down. Got to take the blood sugar. Got to eat. everyone enjoy their Halloween. Matter of fact, I am live Halloween night, 9 p.m. Eastern for new release Tuesdays. And who knows, I might have a little trick or treat deal going on Tuesday night show. Reba McEntire died on the way to the hospital. Wow. Yes, Suzanne Summers. I shared that with Adrian last week. Suzanne Summers died last week, early last week. Yes, about a week ago. Yeah, I believe I sent you an article, Adrian. Sent you an article on Suzanne Summers. Well, they're all going into the afterlife. So hopefully they fulfilled their lives and they're moving on into the afterworld. And something we're all going to be going into sooner or later, the afterworld. Two hours, 24 minutes into the show, getting ready to shut down the Lonely Satellite this evening. Everyone have a safe and happy Halloween. I will see you again new release Tuesdays, Halloween night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Maybe a little trick or treat special going on. Who knows what's going to happen? Take care, fun. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up before you go. And, hope you all enjoyed the show. Again, part 2 of solitude, the topic that we're on. Hopefully, we'll get a little bit more inspired and educated about solitude and what it means for you. And again, this is Lonely Satellite. This is Beat After Beat. All praises to the Most High. This has been a Beat After Beat presentation. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. Good night, everyone. Much love to the fullest.